Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Online Karting League South Africa. This is the Killarney race that we had to reschedule earlier this year. I'm Sean Nopes and I'm joined by Kyle Lawrence as per usual. Kyle, how's it going?
What's up, Buttercups? Always good. Carrying on. Freezing here in Johannesburg. I know you're sitting in Cape Town. I'm all the way in Johannesburg. But how great is it that we're in two different areas in the province and we can still commentate and watch on some online kart racing on a very realistic version of Killarney, I might add.
Yep, super cool laser scanned version of Killarney in the Kart Racing Pro setup. And we've had the track for quite a while now. I think it's a stream coming through okay. It seems a little bit dodgy on my side. Just want to double check it's not just me. Hopefully everything comes through fine. But yeah, this is Killarney laser scanned a year or two ago by now, so the surface might have changed a little bit, but I don't think too much. At least, yeah, it's pretty relevant.
Pretty close. Good enough to get some laps in before a national, regional, or any sort of practice time, I suppose. I mean, it is actually a great tool, a simulator used through all forms of motorsport. So glad to see that it's actually now being used in karting more often. Something that's been lacking in the sport. But KLP doing a good job. There has been some complaints about physics, but it's good enough to learn the layout, learn which way the corners go, get an understanding of the track, so at least you're comfortable with it before you get there IRL. But qualifying, 7 minutes still to go, Shan. Deacon Olivier, we're used to seeing his name on the top. But a driver we are used to being... a driver I haven't seen before, Tony Orby.
Yeah, he's been here before, but it's been a while. So Orby making a welcome return to the league side of things.
Yeah, bought his Burrell Art. He does race for Burrell Art Cape Town in the D2 class, looked after by Kyle Bennett. Kyle Bennett racing a very, very long time ago when I was still racing, so a good 20 years ago, but we were part of that generation with Wesley Wall and the rest. But he's doing a great job down in Cape Town with Burrell Art Cape Town. Now, spin over the curve for Tony Orby. We say the physics isn't close to real life, but if you did that in real life, took that much curve in real life, and the seat bottomed up the way it did, you would definitely be facing the other direction as Tony Orby ended up doing the same thing there. Shan, another thing I've noticed that I haven't seen on the stream since I've been off is the new bodyworks. There's the new OTK horrible bib. Man, I hate that thing.
Yeah, it's been some updates. We've got the OTK and then the KG bibs. They're looking good. We have the new, I think the KG for the Mini as well, but the OTK Mini and the Kart Republic stuff still outstanding. Still some work to be done, but we've got some updates and they're looking quite nice. Paints are looking really good on them.
What absolutely blew my mind with that KR front fairing bib aerodynamic piece, because they now all become aerodynamic pieces. I mean, Burrell Art gone so far as to put ducting into the nose cone to help cool the front tires. But I lost my train of thought. KR aerodynamic. You can actually change the way the fins work inside the bib.
That's crazy.
On the KR. They've even gone so far as develop a carbon fiber floor tray for chassis that has a diffuser element in it.
Yeah, that's been there last year already. I don't think it was in South Africa itself, but I've had a lot of conversations with some of the guys running in a WSK series and stuff. So they've been part of factory teams, and there's been a lot of noise around that double floor plate that they were running there. It was interesting. But
like at some point, how far is too far?
Yeah, I guess. But if it's not something that's I guess the guys in the karting space is doing what the Formula 1 engineers are doing. They're kind of playing in that grey area, finding the limits and seeing how far they can push it.
Well, look at the speeds these karts are doing nowadays. I'm not surprised that aerodynamics has now become a thing. Look, talking about paint, Shan. I can't quite see the paint work on Anwar April's kart there, but it's looking pretty spiffy.
Croc Motorsports has Croc Racing or something like that. Croc Promotion,
oh, very cool.
I think that's
very cool. Interesting design. 9 entries, Johnny Wilson in the pits, 0.9 of a second off the pace. He's normally quite far up the grid.
Yeah.
We had to see him that far down, but obviously maybe just doing a arrive and drive for this Cape Town leg of the OKL. There's the new Tony Kart livery that Shan was describing with its newly shaped bodywork.
Sorry for the graphics designer that has to go and paint that into our body kits, because that's a lot of lines. That's a lot of lines. It's not just take the real photo and just stretch it onto our templates. The person had to paint that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Ruben Victor getting well out the way there. Oh, a lot of drivers getting well out the way. But yeah, the Tony Kart livery very much looking like a 6. What is going on with these two? Luca Sturman and Ruben Victor ending up in a bit of a having a little conversation, a little picnic. They've only got 3 minutes left to qualifying to go, so they better get their heads down and put some laps in.
Some
Maybe
oil on track, maybe.
Yeah, Lucas Sturman waiting for Anwar. I mean, not Anwar, Ruben Victor. Maybe the two of them want to work together, get a lap in. Ruben Victor running the OKL kit. Lucas Sturman still running the old type Tony Kart bodywork.
Yeah, and then here's a science, color science kit. Looks very, very good. Massey Hicks rather has got that's Mason's the RKT suit. Yeah, he's got an RKT suit on there. Caleb suit.
It does fit nicely with the sticker kit, so maybe just chose the color choice, I suppose.
Well,
but the CS55.
Yeah, that's what Scholar Science say. But to be fair, with all these factory suits or factory liveries that we released, if you click base suit in game, it gives you the actual suit that comes with it. So most of them we've gone ahead and added the suits that really makes it look super smart.
Head down the back straight there, trying to get as much time out of that kart as possible. Quite sad that CS55 launched that livery the weekend before Carlos switched to Williams.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So, CS55 unfortunately didn't get the memo that they're going to go blue and silver as opposed to the red and black. But I suppose that is kind of more Carlos Sainz's colors than it is that of Ferrari's. Tony Orby heading out the pits with 2 minutes left to go. He's going to get 1 or 2 laps in aboard his Burl Art. We're still using the KF3, Shan?
Yes, we're finishing the South African leg on the KF3. The WSK series starting in, I think, 2 weeks. The 10th or something like that. Will be on our newly released OKJ. The European guys raced on it on their last leg, the OKJ at Buckmore Park. They really liked it. Very fast kart, super fun. But unfortunately, just how our championship is laid out for the divisional series in South Africa, they are doing a standing start. Now, we can't exactly do a standing start with a kart that needs to be pushed to go. So, we can't change the whole regulations just to have a rolling start in this championship as well.
Yeah, can't change the rules halfway through.
Yeah, so we're finishing KF3. This is the last couple races on the KF3 in the OKL space. And then we're going to bench that engine, hopefully for good.
Bench it full of concrete, sink it in the ocean. Either one will be fine.
Yeah. As long as we don't race on it again. But yeah, the next project for us is now to get our own Rotax engines into the setup. So we give the guys in South Africa, they've got the OKJ and the Mini Rock out. So we kind of want to give some love to the Rotax guys as well, because most of the people in South Africa race Rotax and they want to use it to do some practice. A like for like scenario, I suppose.
Yeah, get the testing in, do some laps, make sure that, the nice thing with the sim, you don't have to pay for the tires that you put on the kart. You can go new every session. So it is a slightly cheaper way to get some extra laps in. And you don't have to trailer your sim anywhere. Just plug and play when you get home from school and after you've done your homework, ladies and gents. And you can jump on board and get some laps, especially during the winter months as we're experiencing at the moment. It is quite terrible to hit the late afternoon sessions at the track.
Yeah.
But 7 seconds left to go. Tony Orby will see if he can get another lap in. I doubt it. He's going to cross the line shortly. The flag is out, so Tony Orby won't be able to set another lap time. And at the moment, Deacon Olafia currently in provisional pole with a 41.769, but only 500. Oh, Anwar April. Mistake on his last lap. He's not going to improve. He's down in 4th place. Alexander Prazovic, he's going to cross the line. Now he wasn't second. He goes to pole with a final lap of 41.750, 0.019 ahead of Deacon Olafia. As close as you like. Lucas Sturman about to cross the line for his last lap.
It did improve, but stays in the same place.
Not enough to get past Deacon Olafia and into second place on the front row. Casey Macy Hicks, he's looking to improve.
It's worth noting that Prazovic was supposed to race juniors tonight. There wasn't enough juniors rocking up. We allowed him to come to the seniors category, and he puts it on pole. And then Deacon Olafia, he's pretty much always there. And then Lucas Sturman, last moment, jumped in Discord and asked if he can race with the seniors because he's a Masters driver. and he's on third place. So we've got a seniors, junior, and masters driver 1, 2, 3. That's very, very, very interesting. Just shows you how close we are on skill between all these drivers, really.
A nice mix in the field, one would say. I think Deacon Olivier and Lucas Sturman aren't too chuffed with you allowing the junior through into the senior classification there, Shad. He's just stuck it on pole ahead of our usual. Jono Wilson, 42.8 was best. He could manage a second off. We expect him to move up in the race. He's normally quite fast. But it looks like it's going to be a fun race. How many laps, Shan, are we looking at for our pre-final?
10 laps, no points to be scored. It is basically qualifying heat, if you want to call it that, where you finish in the pre-final. That is where you will start your final.
Quite strange. We saw a lot of chaos on the grid in previous races, and now we're seeing none.
Yeah. The KR drivers taking a break, I guess. The previous races we saw, where did we see a lot of chaos? Those were the guys racing with the Tillertons. That was the Africa race. Or were you here for the Africa race?
I was here for the Africa race, I think. No, I
think you missed the ATCM race, I think. Yeah, that was me.
Yes.
I think I did a solo there. Yeah. That's right.
Either you forgot to remind me again or I had load shedding.
It was, yeah. Or you just got home from international duties.
Or that. Yeah, I'll be doing a lot of those in the beginning of the year, and I see thankfully those have calmed down a bit.
All right.
Next one's only in August. Ready for the start. Head down and ready for Deacon Olivier. Head down and ready for everybody, actually. Loki Sturman, Judge Stewart, and Keegan. They're off on the start now. Lights are out. Away we go racing. Good start from the front three. Their line astern on the yellow line there down the inside. Into turn one we go. Looks all neat and tidy so far on the way. Oh, as I say that, commentator's cursed. Annual April just not seeing on the outside. Ooh, big contact in the front.
Wow.
Olivier, Lucas Sturman, and Alexander Brasovic getting into each other into the first 180. So even though there's 10 laps to go, I think our front three deciding who's going to win it into the first 180. Contact again. Are we restarting?
I think the director decided, no, that was horrible. Yeah, so within the rules, he can restart the race if he deems the first lap or first couple corners to be chaotic and like half of the field in an accident. He can restart that. So I think he exercised his right there.
I think I tend to agree with him, Shan. That did seem like a very chaotic first two corners.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I don't want to throw Lucas Sturman under the bus there, but he did send it down the inside of two carts and unfortunately pushed two carts out there. So that's unfortunate. I always try and remind the guys in driver's briefing that, to finish first,
you can only lose a race.
There's one of two things we can say there. Yeah, you can't win a race into turn one, I suppose.
Well, let's see if Lucas Sturman's foot slips off the brake pedal again into the first of the 180s. Maybe, well, hopefully not. We head down to the start. It's very much a repeat of the first start, though. Deacon Olivier straight to the inside. He covers off Lucas Sturman into turn one. We're line is staying through turn one. Well done.
There goes Deacon.
This one. Deacon running off the inside into the chicane. He's well down the order now. I think that's fifth place for Deacon. Sixth place as John Wilson goes past. He forces the issue, forces Deacon into the inside and gets the run around the outside of the second 180. So John Wilson already 3 spots up after the start. But down the back straight we go now. Alexander Pravicevic, he leads it out from Lucas Sturman. Just behind him, it looked like Jude Stewart. Yes, Annual April and Jude Stewart just behind him. Keegan Macy Hicks. Wow, how close is this field after lap one? The only one with a bit of a breakaway at the moment, though, Alexander Pravicevic.
The junior getting a clean start this time around, yeah.
100%, but we saw how close the times were in the race, so it's going to be difficult to close the gap, Shan.
Yeah, for sure. Jono Wilson got half the field already on lap one, so he's moving up the field very quickly. Deacon Williford, unfortunately, not a benefactor from the first lap exchange, unfortunately. Jude Stewart, I think, was very lucky with the restart of the session because he lost his nose cone at the exit of the first corner. So, yeah, luckily, Jude Stewart got a restart and he's up into fourth now. Well, he's pretty much where he started, I think.
Yeah, I think I do remember him starting in fourth place. So Jude Stewart just getting himself back into position. And we're currently line astern. No antics so far. They are pretty close together, though. So any mistake from any of these drivers is going to be a problem. The hard-charging Jono Wilson, though, he looks like he has a turn of pace behind these four.
Yeah, I believe Jono sent me a message asking, hey, can we go back up?
Oh, down the inside, 180. What a send that was. He got the kart stopped. He got it turned. He even gave us sorry there. Didn't mean to send it from that far, but a great move from him. Head down now, and he's moving on to the top 3. So, John Wilson, great send into the second 180. He had a terrible national IRL at the Road Tax National, the second round here in Cape Town. So, maybe just hoping to redeem himself here in the OKL League, and he's definitely doing a great job of it. He's already catching onto the back of Anwar April. So whatever lack of pace he had in qualifying, he seems to have resolved that issue.
Yeah, so what I was trying to say is, Jono said in quali, he wasn't sure about the rules, if he's allowed to go back out. He was thinking about the Pro League rules. I told him, no, you can go out. He's like, no, I'll just send it from the back. There we go. Deacon Williford on Jude Stewart as well. Jude Stewart losing some pace in this earlier part of the race.
Yeah, looking at qualifying though, he did seem a little bit uncomfortable at the times at the front were doing. He was close, but it was the biggest gap outside of the top 3. So maybe Jude Stewart's just trying his best to hang on there. Keegan Mesa Hicks is still in with a shot on Jude Stewart, as well as Ruben Victor is behind that. Tony Orby, we seem to have lost eyes on him. But down the inside into turn 1 goes John Wilson. So every lap we've had previously, John Wilson's made a spot. He's come from the back of the grid 9th, and he's up into 3rd place. Goes defensive into the first 180 to make sure Anwar April can't come back at him. And it looks like he's already made a gap on Anwar, and he's got his head down chasing the front 2.
Yeah, and then we've got Luka, who's closed the gap on Pricevic as well. Pricevic does have time penalties from what I can see on the timing sheet. So he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to break away. But he hasn't been able to break away, though. So Sturman's all over the back of him. And Wilson's going to want to break away from April as fast as he possibly can.
Well, already 2 car lengths gained in the first lap. It's difficult to get away in this OKL series. The carts are very, very close together. They're pretty much identical, regardless of chassis and fixed setup. So to get away is difficult, but getting onto the front 2 is going to be decent because they're dicing. Switch back for Prosovic. He covers the inside for the second 180, so Luka can't come back at him. So a great move from Prosovic, but all of this is going to do is bring John Wilson and Anwar April into the fight. But just behind them is a hard-charging Deacon Olivier. We know he's fast. We know he's got pace. So he should be able to get on the back of this this quad of drivers pretty quickly.
What a lovely send dummy to the outside there by Sturman into the first 180. Pricevic was really aware of what happened there, and he just did a perfect cutback. That was amazing. That was so good. Here we go again. Let's see.
Let's see if the full send's on. Brasovic did defend though, so he did have a quick think about it. But Lucas Sturman not close enough there in that first 180 to do another send. But all is moving. Oh, he did.
Yeah, he's further back. Look, he's behind Massey Hicks.
Oh, he was just catching onto this battle as it was getting interesting. And Alexander Prasovic is going defensive really early on in this race. I don't think he realized, well, he must realize that he has a time penalty. So this is really making an interesting race for us and the spectators at home. John Wilson now setting it up into the turn 1. He's going to look down the inside, but they go defensive. He's got no space through. Lucas Demon doesn't know he's there. He's moved out to cover Prosovic. John Wilson muscles his way down the inside of both of them. Are we going to go 3 abreast into the first 180? Contact from all three.
Tyres dirty. His tyres got dirty there. Yeah.
Unfortunately, got forced wide on the exit of turn 1 and still decided to keep his foot in it and stick in with the move. Anwar April was getting excited on the outside. But the only benefactor out of the 3 of them tussling is going to be... Who is that in front? Lucas Sturman? Oh,
Prosovic. Still up front. He pulled away now. He's like, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You fight over the crumbs. I'm going to move on to victory. But he does have time penalty. So as much as Prosovic is up in the lead, he's not going to stay there come the end result because of those time penalties. Ruben Victor under pressure from Deacon Olivier. He goes defensive into turn 1. It's lap 9 of 10. Deacon does it early down the inside. Contact on the exit. But it looks like they've made it. Oh, down big send now. Keegan Mason Hicks fancies himself for moving Ruben Victor after that contact with Deacon Olivier, and he gets that move done. So Ruben Victor hoping to get past Deacon Olivier, maintain his position from Deacon Olivier, and he ends up going down 2 spots. But here's the battle at the front. Jude Stewart and Lucas Sturman. They're fighting over 3rd and 4th. Jude Stewart is in 4th on the road, but 3rd on the timesheet because of time penalties that Lucas Sturman has been given. So at the moment, it's John Wilson who has taken the flag as winner of this heat with Alexander Prasovic in 2nd, Jude Stewart in 3rd, Lucas Sturman in 4th.
1 to go.
Hey?
White flag.
I saw a flag.
Yeah, it was a white flag. Yeah.
I'm not used to it, you see. Up the inside goes Stewart. He was on the grass. He still made the move stick. And Lucas Sturman goes down another place on the road. but it just matches what it is on the timesheets that we are seeing. John Wilson, I don't think he realizes he's winning this race at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's a carter, right? He's not going to do the wise thing and just sit there. He's going to push as hard as he can to still beat him on track. So, yeah, but I mean, he's going to get pole position. No points to be gained here. And Pricevic will take the flag in first, but then time penalties, Wilson will be promoted up into P1. Fastest on the track. Fastest lap, I believe, was by Deacon Willifeed in 6th place. So he's recovered a little bit, but yeah, that's a lot of work for him to be done. There's so much pace up front.
You say fastest lap on the track. That's when he stays on it. Oh, speaking of, Tony Orby testing the brake limits for the next heat.
Yeah.
And unfortunately braking just a little bit too late.
Just checking if he gets into carnage into turn 1, can he get out of the tires? The answer right now seems to be no. He's stuck.
Yes. Yeah, so down in the wall. I've been in that wall at the end of turn 1. It's not fun.
I think everybody has been. If you've raced on Killarney, you've probably seen a set of tires there.
Yep, 100%. Without fail. It is the most intense first corner of any circuit I've been in worldwide.
Yeah, it's quite a crazy first corner. I think
chaotic. It's because it's so quick.
Yeah.
It's because it's such a quick corner that if things do get messy, they get very, very messy. Dan, you said there were no points in that heat. Did you manage to tell everybody else in the grid? Because it didn't look like it.
Yeah, they were racing for the... But, I mean, you want the best possible starting slot, don't you? So, Pricevic getting, unfortunately, a time penalty there for track limit. So he's moved down 1 position. And you kind of want to be on the inside into the first corner. Just because of the chaos always happening around the outside, right?
100%. But it looks like with the standing start, though, if you get a decent launch, there is the big enough gap between first and third for you to slot into. We saw Deacon do it twice. But what a drive. John Wilson, 9th to pole in the pre-final. So proving that qualifying in this series doesn't matter. So I'll be using qualifying for practice in Masters, considering I haven't turned a lap yet.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat asking why they're running KF3s, because with the South African Championship, which is accredited with Motorsport South Africa, the rule book's already put in place. You can't just go ahead and change everything on the fly like with the other series. So we're following, real world rule sets. So the KF3 will be the South African Championship kart until the end of their season. All right, here we go. It's the start time. Lights are currently on.
Lights are off and we are racing. John Wilson looked a bit slow off the line there. Alexander Prasovic, that gap is closing between himself and Jude Stewart, but he does get in there. Jude Stewart with a bit of a nudge to make sure he gets back up into that second place into turn 1. A little bit of mess in the background, but it looks like we've all made it through. Lucas Sturman moving up the grid early. Alexander Prasovic was our leader on track in the pre-final. He's all the way down in 4th after the start, but it's John Wilson out in front with a bit of a gap on Stewart. Lucas Sturman just behind that. Now, does Jude Stewart, he knows Lucas Sturman's quick. He knows he's right behind him. And he struggled to maintain the pace of the front runners in the previous heat. Oh, Tony Orby, a little bit too much curb. He's run wide. He's off. That promotes Deacon Olivier up a spot. And unfortunately, Orby ending up in the tire wall on the inside there. So his final all but over. He don't think he's going to catch the gap in the front here after that. 15 laps in this race, though. So it is a long race. And it does seem like they're behaving a little bit better than the previous. Or, as I said, at Animal April, looking for a lunge down the inside. He gets it down. Alexander Prasovic started this race in 2nd place. Off he goes down to 5th. So not a great start for him. And he's going to have to spend the next 14 laps moving his way back up the field.
He's absolutely chowing Prasovic up right now. He was actually chewing and spitting him out, moving him all the way down. He's unfortunately not at the greatest of starts. Here come Willifeer as well. Willifeer now all over the back of Prasovic. So he's going to fall victim to another driver coming through the field.
Well, I must give myself a slap on the hand. I did say to Jude Stewart, I didn't think he had the pace to hang on to the front. And he has definitely proved me wrong. He's closed that goal. Deacon trying to force the issue on the pass on Alexander. Has he gotten it done into the first 180? Yes, he has. So the junior getting bullied by the last. Oh, I say that. Great send down the inside for the second 180. I'm not sure if tactically that was the right decision. Look at the gap they've lost on the front runners. So these two fighting over the back slots here of this group have now lost their opportunity to the front. But John Wilson, obviously listening to me in his ears, has decided to start defending early. And he might just bunch this group up again for us.
Yeah, that's pretty much Jono Wilson tactics. I know he likes to do that. Just likes to fight the people, and then he'll literally bunch up a whole pack to get a couple of his mates closer to them to start fighting.
This might be a bit controversial, but it sounds like something Senior Max Driver has done in the past in previous races. I was going to mention names and come up with a saying, but I've decided, in my better judgment, not to do that. But those of you who have watched a lot of South African karting might know what I'm talking about. Down the back straight we go. Jono Wilson right to the yellow line already. We've only done 4 laps of this race. We've got a whole bunch more to go. Jono's going to show everybody what the inside of Killarney Kart Circuit looks like all the way around the lap for the next 10 laps. He's got a long way still to go, and Jude Stewart all over the back of him. But that's allowing Lucas Sturman to join the party. And I hope for our sake, watching at home, it brings everybody else around the outside. Jude Stewart's going to try it. He goes in deep, but Jono wise to it. That's allowed Lucas Sturman up the inside of Jude Stewart. And they're going to head into the first 180. Jono Wilson goes defensive again. Is he going to be wise enough to defend the second 180? Of course he is. At the second 180 we come. Here comes April, and here comes Deacon Olivier. This was a 3-horse race for the win of this final. It's going to end up being a 4 or 5 card race for the final if Jono Wilson carries on with this. Oh, it's a bit of a nudge. Jude Stewart forced the issue. He got it down the inside, and Lucas Sturm has also made the position. So Jono's decision to defend and back up the field has severely backfired on him now.
Yeah,
so with Lucas Stewart and
that saying of buy one get one free. Jono Wilson got the other side of that. He wanted one, he had to pay for 2. He was just pushed down 2 positions, unfortunately, because of his defensive driving. He comes down the inside again.
There we go. Here comes the defending again. Jono Wilson up the second, up the first again. But Lucas Sturman's down the inside into the chicane. We've seen this end in tears before. But well respected between both drivers. They made it through, and Anwar April is now looking to go from 4th to 1st in 1 lap. And just, Jude Stewart outdoes the braking. He forces Anwar April off as well as himself. And Deacon Olivier promotes himself up 1 more spot. So Deacon, well done the order at the start, has moved himself up into 4th place. And it looks like we've lost, unfortunately, Anwar April from this battle. It seems like he's fallen off the circuit quite badly. Yep, he's quite a distance behind us. But looking at how the defense is going and how the racing has been going on with these 4, or these 5 now, I'm not sure it's out of the realm of possibility for him to get back onto the group.
Yeah,
he does have in front of him, though. He's got Ruben Victor and Keegan Macy Hicks in front of him. So Jono Wilson giving us a thumbs up, Shan. He likes what we're saying.
Yeah, look, this feels like deja vu from this weekend at the Monaco Grand Prix. Guys, just, you can't get past me, so I'll just hold everybody up. So this whole field is going to just start becoming like a little bit of a, what you call it, a train behind Jono at the moment. Just adding more carts.
Jono's, Deacon Olivier late on the dive. That wasn't even done on the brakes. I think he decided that after they turned in for the apex. He's saying, come on, push me forward, let's go. But not like that, not in the braking, Jude. So unfortunately, Jude giving a little bit of love to the back bumper of Deacon. He's run wide, and Jude takes that position back. While they're fighting over 3rd place, though, the race has now become Jono Wilson and Lucas Sturman for the front of this race. They've got a little bit of a gap between themselves and Jude Stewart and Deacon Olivier. But if there's one thing we know Jono Wilson can do well, and that is park the bus. So I'm sure with 6 laps more to go, we're going to see him start parking the bus as soon as Lucas Sturman gets onto his back bumper. Down into turn 1 we go. Jude Stewart goes defensive again on Deacon Olivier. Deacon, another little bit of love on the back bumper, and he forces the issue past Jude Stewart. He falls his foot well on the inside of Prasovich. Prasovich stays in.
No, Jude.
That was, I think, the 3rd round of retaliation of that whole little fight that was going on between Deacon Olivier and Jude Stewart. And Jude Stewart obviously deciding he'd had enough of the argument, and he decided to settle it into the first 180. So off goes Deacon Olivier. We've lost him from this battle in the front. And because of all that mess, we've lost Jude Stewart and as well from the battle in the front. So at the moment, it's Jono Wilson and Lucas Sturman out in front and by themselves with 5 laps left to go. Jono Wilson starts parking that bus, puts his cart on the inside of that yellow line, and makes sure there is no space for Lucas Sturman.
Look, all I can say is I don't want to be a steward tonight. There's been a lot of side pod rubbing here. And some guys forgot their brakes, I think. Playing a little bit of Need for Speed on the console, maybe. Using the car in front of you as your brakes.
What I think happened is they're running 3 pedals and they got confused between the clutch and the brake.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, that's not what happened. But we're gonna assume that. Down the back, through the chicane. I love this corner. Over the curb they go. Curb jump. Down the main straight we go. Lucas Sturman's got a good run. Is it enough to get all the way around the outside? Because we know Jonah Wilson's not going to leave the inside line open for him. Lucas Sturman goes around the outside, tries to get the drive and force the issue onto the back bumper of Jonah Wilson. It can't be done. This man knows how to defend around the circuit. He's done it many times. Nope. I say that. He opens the door on the second 180, and down the inside goes Lucas Sturman.
Wow.
A little bit of it. He had to do it. It had to be done. Jonah wasn't going to make that mistake more than once. And now it's Lucas Sturman's chance to park the bus.
Nope.
Jonah Wilson, though, goes for he sees the defense into what I call bonnets, or the start of golf club, and he does the switch back to get the inside move done. I did that in 2023 to get the win at the Cape Town National D2 Masters. This time I did it to Jonah, and not Jonah Wilson. It was Jonathan Peterson. But a great move from Jonah Wilson, showing us how that cutback's done. We've seen it many times. Luke Herring back in the past in the X30's got it done as well, and I think that was on another Sturman, Dino Sturman. Into the second 180 we go. Jonah doesn't make the same mistake twice. Does Lucas Sturman get... Oh, he's going to go right the outside of the grass. That was brave.
Yeah. Amazing that he kept that cart facing forward, though. And here comes Prizovic now. Back into the fray he comes.
Oh, that defense.
Oh, is he going to send it?
Wow. Up the inside. He sent it. Oh, it's not going to work. Jude Stewart's going to be the victor there. So Jude Stewart made himself an extra place from Alexander Prizovic, trying something drastic to get past Lucas Sturman. But more importantly, look at the gap it's given Jonah Wilson with 2 laps left to go.
Yeah, I think Jonah won't go on the defensive now. I think he'll just say, okay, I'm not fighting anybody. I've got the gap, so I'm out of here. Cheers. Lucas Sturman's going to probably want to say something about that. Does seem like he's got the pace, though. If Jude just behaves a little bit behind Luca, they might be able to fight on the last lap.
Yeah, that's where Smart needs to come now. Jude needs to push Luca onto the back of Jonah Wilson to make this a fight for the win. Otherwise, it's going to be a fight for second place. Down in 6th, though, our fastest man on circuit. He was the fastest man in the pre-final as well, is Deacon Olivier. But unfortunately, going off in that Jude Stewart incident has caused him to be well off the pack here. So he won't be able to catch up even with the fastest lap. Jude Stewart goes down the inside now into the turn number 1. He doesn't think that Lucas Sturman has the pace to catch Jonah Wilson out in front. So this battle is going to continue for second place. And it's just Alexander Prizovic just forcing the issue on the brakes into the first 180 on the back of Lucas Sturman there. And he managed to get the place up. He moves himself up onto the third step of the podium. And all the while, all this passing is just allowing Jonah Wilson to stretch his legs, build a gap. If I was standing on the pit wall, I'd be showing him quite a big, wide gap. And telling him he doesn't have to worry about defending. He's only got 1 more lap to go. And I think for Jonah Wilson, it's all over bar the shouting.
Yeah. Prizovic seems like he's going to want to get another position. Push, he's just pushing Jude Stewart out a little bit there, forcing him off the track.
Yeah, just leaning on the... This is getting untidy. Driver standards are lacking here between these two drivers, using the front nose cone as a way to get past drivers as opposed to trying to get up the inside. And I can understand the defense is frustrating, but IRL, that probably would have been a nose cone penalty. So using a little bit too much of the nose cone is Jude Stewart to get that move done at the end. But to be fair, Alexander Prizovic did do it to him in the corner before. But all about Jonah Wilson at the moment as he crosses the start-finish line to take the checkered flag for the win here in the final of the OKL Seniors. Jude Stewart comes across in 2nd with Alexander Prizovic in 3rd. As the arguments continue, Lucas Sturman decided he would finish in 6th after that last lap scuffle down in 4th.
Yeah, and Adwa April's gone up to 4th, Deacon in 5th. I see Tony Orby's asking after DNF, can we bring back the T4s? Tony, just FYI, the T4s are being used in the African Championship, so you're more than welcome to come race there. Just check out the calendar, the full calendar Discord, and you'll be able to see when the next race for the African Championship is. And I think it is on a South African track as well. So feel free to join in on that one. That's it. That was pretty eventful, Kyle. It's pretty much close down this stream, jump into the driver's briefing for the Masters, and then me and you will be racing against each other. Hopefully I will be in front.
Me too. I'm pretty sure you will be, Shad. I can't remember the last time I jumped into a sim on a kart, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's close down the stream and let's get some practice laps going, mate.
Yeah, well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Nice full stream. A lot of people watching for which was a very entertaining race. The driver standards maybe not always where it's supposed to be, But hopefully next time we can get that sorted. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys for the next one, which is literally next week. It do be the South African series round 3, I think, or 4. Yeah, so we'll see you guys very soon for that.